Imagine feeling aches, fever, or even a headache. But if I told you that centuries ago, the solution was not a comfortable bed and a cup of soup, but something straight out of your worst nightmare, from snake oils to straight-up torture our ancestors had. So, today, we are getting into some of the worst cures for diseases throughout history. 1. Chloroform. Back in the 1800s, doctors figured out how. Chloroform to the rescue. If you needed surgery or even a tooth removed, they would damp cloth in chloroform and put it over your face. Sounds like magic, right? Well, not exactly. The tricky part with chloroform was getting the dosage right. Too little, you would wake up mid-surgery, and trust me, nobody wants that. Too much, you would not wake up at all. Definitely not the ideal outcome when someone's cutting you open. While chloroform did the job of knocking you out, it had a bad habit of stopping your heart too. Number 2. Snake oil salesman. Ever heard the term snake oil salesman? It is not just a figure of speech. Back in the 19th century America, conmen would sell miracle cures made from snake oil. Yes, literally oil made from snakes that supposedly healed everything. A cough, snake oil will fix it. And if you are bald, rub a little snake oil on your scalp and boom, instant hair growth. These guys could sell snake oil as a cure for a bad personality if they wanted. But most of these cures did not even have snake oil in them. It was all a scam. These salesmen traveled from town to town with their fake remedies, tricking people out of their hard-earned cash. Eventually, the whole scheme was exposed, and the term snake oil salesman became code for con artists. So the next time someone tries to sell you a miracle cure, remember, you could be falling for good old-fashioned snake oil. Number 3. Cannibalistic medicine. Eating mummies for health. Ever had the flu and thought, man, I could really go for some mummy powder right now? Well, during the 16th and 17th centuries in Europe, people believed that consuming ground-up mummies, yes, as in actual mummified bodies, could cure all sorts of diseases, from headaches to internal bleeding. It's true, wealthy Europeans would buy powdered mummies thinking they had supernatural healing properties. You would be sitting at a fancy dinner party, and instead of discussing the weather, you would hear things like, pass me the mummy dust. It's great for digestion. They believed that ancient Egyptian remains held some magical healing power, but they didn't. Turns out, eating dead people did not cure much, except maybe your appetite. Number 4. The wacky healing powers of dead mice. Next on our creepy cure list is something that will really make your skin crawl: dead mice. Now, if you had a toothache in ancient Egypt or even during Elizabethan England, the solution was not an aspirin. No, it was stuffing a dead mouse into your mouth. That's right. People believed that rubbing a dead mouse against your sore tooth, or even worse, actually chewing on it, would reduce the pain. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm ever at the dentist and they suggest this cure, I'm running for the door. Somehow, mouse-flavored toothpaste never quite caught on. Number 5. Trepanation. The drill a hole in your head. Sounds fancy. Well, all it means is drilling a hole in your skull. That's right, folks. If you had migraines, seizures, or even just a bad mood, ancient civilizations had a cure. Let's play around your brain. Oh, you have a headache? No problem. Just lie down and we will pop open your skull. That should fix it. They believed this would release the evil spirits causing discomfort. Many people did not survive the cure, but those who did were considered healed if they did not lose a few brain cells along the way. Number 6. Spitting in a frog's mouth. If you had a sore throat or cough, your friendly neighborhood healer might suggest finding a frog, prying open its mouth, and spitting right into it. But why? The belief was that the illness would transfer from your body to the frog. That's right, folks. The frog becomes the unlucky recipient of your germs. The poor frog did not sign up for this. And guess what? After this donation, you must wait for the frog to jump away, taking the sickness. It is safe to say this was not a hop-in success. But imagine being sick and so desperate that spitting in a frog's mouth sounds like a good idea. Number 7. Mercury. The cure that almost always killed you. Let's talk about mercury. This shiny, toxic metal was once the go-to remedy for everything from syphilis to broken bones. None to purify your body? Just rub some mercury ointment into your skin. Got a cough? How about a mercury inhaler? And for an extra special touch, some doctors prescribed drinking it. Yes, you heard that right. Drinking mercury. Now, call me crazy, but maybe swallowing poison was not the best recovery option. Shockingly, people would often die of mercury poisoning before their actual illness even had a chance to do its job. Even the famous Chinese emperor Qin Shi Huang fell victim to mercury. He believed it would make him immortal, but instead, well, let's say he found out the hard way. And if you're thinking, who would be silly enough to drink mercury? Remember that we did not know how harmful it was back then. But looking back, it is one of the most lethal cures in history. Number 8. Heroin. Believe it or not, there was a time when heroin was not seen as a dangerous drug. In fact, in the early 1900s, it was promoted as a miracle cure for coughing. But yes, you heard that right. People were giving heroin to kids for a sore throat. Had you got a tickle in your throat? No problem. Take a little heroin. The drug company Bayer, the same company that makes aspirin today, marketed it as a safe and non-addictive option to morphine. Yeah, non-addictive. People were using heroin for everything from coughs to headaches, completely unaware of how addictive and dangerous it was. Heroin was a terrible idea as medicine, and it did not take long for doctors to realize they were creating a whole new problem: addiction.